Want to have your SEO questions answered live? At SEOtraining.com, we offer our members monthly Q&A calls with the father of SEO himself, Bruce Clay. In this series, we are going to share some of the SEO questions that have come in from our members during our live recordings. So if you want to participate and ask your questions to Bruce in our next call, sign up to become a member today at SEOtraining.com. Enjoy. What do you think will be the biggest SEO change in 2022?
I don't think we're going to see a lot of SEO changes in 2022.
Ooh.
I think, and by the way, different things will become more important, but you're not going to see an SEO change, right? You may find more people are doing something with virtual reality, or more people are doing things in elsewhere. It may be that desktop queries drops and mobile queries go up, but you're still going to be doing the same SEO. I don't think there's going to be a lot of web core vitals suddenly appearing next year. Now, having said that, the SEO component over the past few years has been starting to be influenced by how people interact with Google. I believe that video is going to become an increasingly important search result and will show up in the Google search result entries more often. I believe, and by the way, I believe strongly in that. That's why I have Dylan as a producer doing videos for us. I believe strongly that voice search, which is not really being used as much as it could, will become more important. I believe that Google is going to continue to emphasize answers. See, I think Google wants to get to the Star Trek computer stage eventually, where you just ask the question and Google gives you the answer and everybody's happy, right? That's the Star Trek computer. You just ask the computer, it tells you what the answer is, and you trust it. And I think Google wants to get closer to that, and it's an evolution. And I think if Google can get closer to that, that's going to totally change a lot of the what I'm going to loosely call robotics industry, right? It's going to be hard to have a robot that doesn't know anything. You're going to want to give it an instruction and it's going to know how to do it. So I see it as being an evolution over the next 10 years into robotics. And if you can't ask a question and get an answer, it's a failure. So relative to that, when I go through it, I see that Google is emphasizing more and more about the presentation of the content and the establishing of expertise. And I think that's going to be somewhat critical going forward. Think about it this way, and I've said this again in the webinar. By the way, if you want to look up the Core Web Vitals webinar, please do. I said, if Google believes that they're giving the very best answers, they've unconditionally got the very best answers, another search engine can catch up. So how does Google make themselves keep their audience? So Google is going to have to stabilize on the very best answers and then improve the fact that the sites that are giving those answers, users love. They have to be user-friendly sites. They have to be fast sites. They have to be structured in a way that presents the answer in a concise, clear way, because the satisfaction with the site giving the accurate answer is now the differentiator. So I believe that Google is going to continue to evolve. And I think this has been a lot of the recent changes. I think Google is going to continue to evolve along the lines of it isn't enough to give the right answer. You have to be really good to the user at the same time. The user experience has to be great, and you have to have the right answer, not just you have to have the right answer. And they're going to keep evolving that now as the next layer. If anything, it's SEO. We should be working towards that already. That's not a big differentiator change for next year. It's a continuation. And I think, though, that that's the way Google is going. If it were my search engine, that's what I'd focus on. Unfortunately, it's not my search engine. But that's where if I were Google, that's where I'd go.
If you want to join our next Q&A call, be sure to sign up to become a member at SEOtraining.com so you can ask your questions live. As a member, you'll also have access to dozens of hours of training videos as well as our SEO tools and ebooks. SEO is always evolving and you need a way to stay up to date. So if you want to raise your SEO to the next level, be sure to sign up today at SEOtraining.com. Thanks for watching.